what year did you come out here?
1976.
And this was just...
It was dryland farm. It was a whole dryland farm when they come here.
You never stopped moving.
No, I have to keep moving. No, they can bury me out here. So,
Have you enjoyed it?
oh yeah, it's a challenge.
You asked me what made me want to come back and farm. It's that guy right there, and it's my dad. And I couldn't ask for better role models and a better place to live. Everybody has their spots. They're like, oh, I like farming Idaho. I like farming in Iowa. I like farming in Montana and stuff. I think that honestly, what it comes down to the most is where's home for you? What your family is, like your group that you're with and stuff. That's what makes you successful. And I think especially in ag anymore, the only way that you're really gonna be successful and prosper and stuff is by, you don't have to do everything, but to work with your neighbors and have good neighbors around you that when something happens, they're there to help you, you're there to help them, stuff like that. Because like you're talking about depression and stuff like that and everything in agriculture and trucking and everything, you gotta have people you can talk to, you gotta have people you can work with, and ones that understand. Because you go talk to somebody that has a 9-to-5 office job, they ain't gonna understand.
No.
You're talking about, well, if this hailstorm comes through, I'm gonna lose my whole life. Where other people are, oh, if hailstorm comes through, I gotta go get my car fixed at the body shop. It's a whole different ball game.
Well, we're on our way to Bibi Farms out here in Washington, and you can see this is just absolutely beautiful out here. We're in the Columbia Basin, eastern Washington, and Bibi Farms, they agreed, actually reached out to us, allowed us to come out here and do this. And yeah, just a little bit about the history. Caden, who's going to really give us the tour today, he's the third generation. It was started by his grandpa, Clyde, and again, started off, I think, couple thousand acres now, to one of the largest growers of onions out here in this area. And their family, they farm everything, and we'll see, I think they do corn, soybeans, but also on the produce side. So we're going to get a tour today of just the process of the onion harvesting and production of that. Another cool thing, Caden, and we'll see, we love these agricultural stories, but Caden came in his third generation, and his dad actually really tasked him to really build the trucking operation. So we're going to get a first-hand glimpse of seeing how Caden has started that and where it's going from now. So yeah, they've been on BulkLoads. They're also a bulk TMS user of ours, which is kind of excited to really be at the point of where they're growing in that, and then allowing our services to really grow with them.
You want the Energizer Bunny, you will meet him. My grandpa, turns 86 on the 25th, and he still works a 15 to 17 hour day every day.
86 years old?
Yep.
Oh yeah.
He can still get around pretty well.
Oh yeah.
Well, he had a knee replacement. He needs another one.
But he won't
do it. But yeah, he is just. I mean, you just wonder how much longer he's got.
If he's not out of the house by 6:30, there's something wrong.
Yeah, every day. And this doesn't. In harvest.
Look forward to meeting him.
Harvest. Yeah, you'll meet him. And harvest, 20 hours a day.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, he's just a machine.
But that's all. He's passed that down to my dad. Passed that down to me. My little brother is back from college for the summer and everything, so he's out doing fertilizer right now and stuff. But that's the main thing that my dad and grandpa mainly taught us, is you're not going to get anywhere in life without hard work and putting in the hours. You're not going to get anything handed to you. So that's where we've all learned to work and stuff. And that's my grandpa. We buy him, or he gets the Rangers, like Polaris Rangers. He's had Rangers. He's had John Deere Gators. He's had everything. We went down to Jackson Group because we get all of our trucks from Jackson Group in Iowa Falls. We went down there in March, and Rexford Motorsports is down there. And that's where we buy all of our snowmobiles, everything like that. And went down there, and he goes, I want myself one of those new 1500 Rangers. So we got him a 1500 Ranger, full cab, all that stuff and everything.
Nice.
Got it in March. He has 9,800 miles on that thing.
My gosh. Those are nice. I mean, they're basically cars.
Yeah, they're basically trucks. He hardly drives his farm pickup and stuff, but then just driving around the main farm and everything, going and checking stuff, and they're the perfect spacing for him that he can drive right down the corn rows. So he'll drive down corn. The only thing he will not drive through is our onion fields. Every other crop, he just drives right down the rows and everything, and he'll just come buzz out through the field and come see how you're doing and everything, and then runs around, and That's Clyde for you. He's self-made. When he was a junior in high school, my great grandpa was coming back from one of our family's ranches in Winnemucca, and ended up getting heat stroke and passing away. So my grandpa was junior in high school, and the whole family operation fell apart and everything. So then he started out from nothing, and so that's everything you see. Pretty much the Bibi name in Washington is all because of him and the work that he's put in. And that's where my dad tells me stories of when it was before my dad was born and stuff, but my grandpa would farm during the day and then go work at the sugar factory in Nessa at night. And then he'd bring the tailings, so all the beet heads and everything like that, on all the leaves, he'd bring them out and feed his cows with him, because he got that as part of his wage. So he'd bring them out and go feed his cows with them and stuff. And there's always something that Clyde's doing to stay busy, because he's like me. That's where my dad says I'm more like grandpa than I think I am, because I can't sit still. I always got something going on.
Is grandma still alive?
She passed away in 2008.
So
that's part of the thing too, is he's like, I don't like going home. He hasn't changed the house at all since she left and stuff. So it's kind of he just does his deal and everything and runs around. And so me and him always get in trouble going and buying stuff or building something in the shop. We like to do as much as we can ourselves instead of paying somebody else to do it.
Oh yeah, 100%.
So sometimes it doesn't pay off for you. Sometimes it does pay off.
Yeah.
That's one thing that we really appreciate about Jason and everything he does is you've been
15
back here 15 now. And so he's been helping run the shed for 15 years, and a lot of things have changed in 15 years. We've done a lot of different things, and it's been really cool to be a part of. We have 8 drivers, and then Max, our dispatcher, which Max, hopefully he's back from his dentist appointment in time, but he has been a part of our operation for over 25 years. So he started out, he's known me my whole life. He was our commercial tire guy before he came to work for us. And the first day Max came out, he came out on his route and everything and went back to the store and says, "You guys can have that account. I don't want to deal with that ornery old man." And so his wife works out here. They live here on the farm and everything. But yeah, Max worked on the farm and stuff. And then when we kind of geared up trucking more, we've had our ups and downs with trucking. We ran reefers, we ran flatbeds, we've done everything. When I came back to the farm full time and stuff, I was running the trucks and stuff, and it just finally got to the point where I had other things that I needed to be more of a broader scope and not honed in on trucking all the time, because there were some days it'd take your whole day dealing with.
Yeah,
and it was
trucking.
dealing with 8 trucks, and I'm like, I got other things that I gotta be doing besides dealing with a broker or dealing with this release number is off by one number and they sent me the wrong one. And so we transitioned Max into that role, and he's done a great job. And
Clyde said, I want a video. He goes, before I die, I want a video board out in front of the packing shed. And so putting whatever harvest videos or trucking videos or pictures. Or
we always make the joke of his list of things that he wants to do before he dies keeps getting longer. And we're like, well, you plan on dying soon? Because you got this done, this done, this done. He says, oh no, I got 5 other things I just added to it. So it's a bit of a mess since we're
that's all right.
in the middle of tilling and everything like that. But we got our plasma table and drive lines, everything like that. So that's what we build all of our stuff into here. And so this actually this was the entrance where Grandpa backed 10-wheelers in, and his seed cutter set right here when we used to raise like Norcotas and everything. When we raised normal potatoes, we raise baby potatoes now, but when he used to cut seed and everything, it was right here. So
Did your grandpa build this farm from the very ground up?
Yep. Everything you see.
This was nothing before?
This was a dryland wheat farm. Everything you see here, my grandpa and my dad have built. So that's why it's really cool, is because there was no houses, there was no shops, there was nothing. No roads. My grandpa, he's built all the roads on this farm. That's why we have our own gravel pit that we crush gravel and everything at, and then that's our gravel trailer out there. And
did he grow up farming, your grandpa?
He grew up ranching. So they ran cows and stuff and then farmed a little bit on the side and everything. And then
when his dad died early, right?
Yep. And then that's when my grandpa really got into farming. So
but he came up here when it was nothing and started.
Yep. So my grandpa was 30 or 31 when he moved up here, because my dad was 2. So that's, yeah.
Do you know much of the story of like how he even got the funds to start? I mean,
started out, my grandpa didn't have a he didn't have a service truck for the first 4 years farming up here. My grandpa had just built my grandma a brand new house in Nessa. Brand new brick and mortar house, super nice and everything. that fall says, hey, we're moving to Washington, moved her into a single wide trailer. He goes, your grandma was a saint because she didn't divorce me. Yeah, everything, any building you see up here, any road, anything like that has all been built by my dad and my grandpa. And I'm slowly trickling in my effect on it. I'm kind of more the, okay, how can we take what we have now and make it better? How can we change it? When I was little, that is my handprint. That's from when I was, my mom brought me up because we poured the floor and they took it and put that in there. And then we have the Bibi quilt wall that we put all the different things on. But yeah, my grandpa is a very religious man and does not cuss a lot, but he gets really bad when people don't keep the shop clean during the winter. And so he made that sign, or my sister made that sign because it was a joke for him. The whole reason why they left Nessa was because everything down in Nessa is small fields, stuff like that and everything, and they're Hawaii Reservoir, stuff like that, they're struggling for water. So Sun Heaven, there's 5 families that are partners in it. And
What is Sun Heaven?
So Sun Heaven is our irrigation co-op. Or a co-op. It's a partnership. Some people call it a co-op, stuff like that and everything, but what it is it's the 5 families that moved up from Oregon all went together on the irrigation project. So then that way, it's a full private irrigation project. We are in control of everything from the time it comes out of the river. So all the pumps, all the boosters, everything like that, we do. But that's so Sun Heaven is our irrigation department and our road department.
Can you explain though, so the water that's irrigating all this is coming out of the Columbia River?
Correct.
And years ago, you all built a co-op.
Yeah.
I started a co-op and a project to get that water from the Columbia River up to this.
Yeah. So
and because we're up high too, right here, right?
Yeah. So we're about 1,000 feet up right here. I think the main shop and everything there's at like 970 feet and stuff. But everybody, all the partners, so that's what everybody's considered a partner and everything. Nobody really likes the term co-op, but it's like it's a partnership.
Yeah, that's what a co-op is.
Yes, and so we all work together and everything on it. So we have about 30 guys that they're called irrigators and stuff. It's our irrigation department. So we have anywhere from field techs going out changing drive lines, gearboxes, stuff like that, to pump guys. We have 90 irrigators. We have our irrigation managers.
And that's all shared within the co-op.
Yeah, so it's all shared between the 5 families. So we have 2 full-time electricians, stuff like that, where pretty much what they do is when they go and work on a certain partner's stuff, they bill their time out for it. When all the families first came up from Oregon, it was 21,000? When they harvested the wheat the first year. Because I think the original chunk was like 21,000 acres, wasn't it?
I was just going to ask, so how many acres is irrigated from this project? Like how big does that
I think it's a little over 20,000 now, 23,000 now. I think at the time, I think it was around 10, 9 or 10 at the time.
It was about 10,000 acres and it was all dryland wheat. They came up and harvested dryland wheat and then started putting mainline and stuff in. And so that's, we'll go down that way sometime today and you can see like right along the highway, we have booster 1 and then our river station and everything. So we have our river station and then we have 4 booster stations going up through the farm that pumps the water to everything.
And for people that don't know, the Columbia River, it starts where and comes down through?
It's up in Canada.
Starts in Canada and goes out into the ocean down by Portland and Vancouver.
So it's a huge water source, watershed, very stable as far as the reliability of water.
This here, from here over the year prior, so 2 years ago, this was a bulk storage for onions. So our original, there where we walked through the palletizers and everything, that was where our original sizer was. This sizer we have is so complex that when we took it and were first getting it ready, the guys from eCraft were here and they're all from the Netherlands and stuff. And they said, hey, we want to do a trial. We took red, yellow, and white onions, put them in a bin like that and ran them through the machine. It sorted every onion out by color and everything. And this machine's so complex that you can take and say, example, Cancer Awareness Month. I want it that they're all white onions with a pink stripe on there, which you never want an onion to have a pink stripe and stuff on it. But say you want to do that, you can make the computer that it's going to have a pink, every onion in that bag is going to have a pink stripe on it.
You said Netherlands, so this stuff was...
All this stuff, this took about 93 containers, I believe it was. All this equipment you see is all imported from the Netherlands. And what's really cool about this is this whole machine was built inside of a shed in the Netherlands They test ran it and everything, then took it all back apart and shipped it across in containers and then put it up here for us. So, yeah.
Is there a specific reason why the Netherlands versus some?
The Netherlands and the Dutch, kind of everywhere over that way, are 10, 15 years ahead of what we are in the United States when it comes to technology.
Really?
Yeah, as far as packaging equipment, stuff like that and everything.
So if you're in this type of business and you want innovation, that's the place to go look.
You're going to Europe. Monty, who the guy in the blue shirt there, we need to talk with him. So Monty worked for our family when I was young. He worked for us for about 10 years. Then he left, went and worked for some other people. And then he came back here to be the project manager for this.
And brought back
and he said, hey, this is the machines we need to get and everything. And that's the thing is, here in the United States, there's not a lot of companies. Volm and stuff like that are some packaging companies that they do stuff for potatoes and everything, but they're here locally in the United States and stuff. But a majority of packaging equipment, palletizing equipment, sorting equipment, all is coming from Europe and everything. There's not companies here in the United States that are, there might be companies, but they're not known like eCraft and Cymac, companies like that that are really taking care of customers and stuff. So this is Monty.
Hey, Monty.
Good to meet you.
Jared Flynn. Good to meet you.
Jared.
Yeah.
Monty's known me since I was knee-high to a grasshopper. And been around. He likes to always say that he's making sure that I'm successful in what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So Jason's over sales and he's kind of over the general manager of it, and then Monty is our production and floor manager
More
and everything like that.
operations.
Yeah, operations and stuff.
So the thing that's taken place in the U.S. is we didn't chase technology. So 25 years ago, Europe had to chase technology. Europe
Because-
had high cost of labor and shortage of labor. Then they came in with restrictions of L&I. So your weight lift restrictions, your different things. And Europe came in and said, hey, you can't lift over 35 pounds repetitively for so much time. So the first technology that came into here into the US was the palletizers, the robots to stack the pallets. So we purchased those and we had those put in here back in 03. Since we've changed in that. But like the sizer in this technology, it's coming from over there because they put money invested
R&D.
into their youth to get an education for technology. So here in the US, we didn't want to do that. So what did we do? We invested our time into unions. Let's go after the union. Let's build unions. Let's make them specialized to a union. Then in the US, we got away from the union. We're going back to the union today. And we have nobody in trades that are trained. So you've had to train yourself.
And
So
where I
that's
was
why
talking
this
about
technology is coming in from Europe and outside the US. So for that machine there, that's sizing the onions and everything, to build and design one here in the US probably would have cost 3 times what that one cost, because that's what we value our technology at. So these guys, that machine, the computer system and everything's based out of Italy. It's an Italian-based machine that was longer body. They made poor choices and everything, and in the process, eCraft was able to come in and buy the company, then merge together with who did the camera system to make it even more successful.
So high level, so we've always been behind Europe by so many years, but like Europe's already developed this stuff because they had to, but now we're having to, or at least.
But why reinvent the wheel here locally and have somebody go out and grab the technology and everything when you can go buy the technology for way cheaper than
Right,
what you can
yeah.
reinvent it?
Well, and that's why I said we're like 10, 15 years behind Europe on stuff and everything, because they already have it figured out. And so they're already being able to source stuff and everything. And that's what, like, most of the parts and stuff, like gearboxes, everything on there, they're all proprietary. They have to come out of Europe and stuff. So there's times we lose a gearbox or a sensor or something we're paying freight to send it on the fast plane from.
Prime example. You better have a good connection with the machine shop to keep something like this running.
Yeah.
As Caden says, that gearbox is, okay, it's coming from Sewell Eurodrive. It's proprietary. They've got a set deal. It has to come from them. Wait a minute. It's just a piece of metal that broke in there. Let me find the pieces. Let me run down to the machine shop. Hey, how fast can you guys machine this? Because nothing's next day.
No.
If I realize I need it, 3-day minimum out of Europe. Doesn't matter how good it is.
And I need to know the
3
cost
days.
to ship it.
Yeah.
They're 9 hours ahead of you. It's 3 days. Now with the duties and tariffs on it, who knows what is going to happen. So you have to think ahead. Where is your critical control points? Let's correct that. What do we have to have here to not have that problem? Or what can we repair in 24 hours? We'll break shafts on the palletizer. We'll pull it out. I'll meet a guy halfway to Tri-Cities. That night I'll pick it back up and I have it out here and the night shift guys are putting it back in. It's running in the morning.
And that's
You'll
like-
have to have relationships.
It's all about relationships, and that's what it's all about your team too. That's something that I've always been taught by Neil and Clyde, was that it's not about what you know, it's about who you know, and it's about the tools in your toolbox. The way that I have looked at it is our operation is a toolbox. Every one of our employees is a tool in the toolbox, and just like Monty said, that we have guys on day shift and night shift that they're cross-trained and everything, they can be doing stuff, but it's just like I said, we like to do a lot of stuff we can ourselves. This year we bought a plasma table, we're getting press brakes, stuff like that and everything. So then instead of Monty having to drive to Tri-Cities, which is 40 minutes away, to go meet somebody to get a shaft rebuilt, we take it up to the shop, which is 2 minutes away, and we have somebody there that either myself, one of our mechanics, something like that, that we can start building stuff, or you're gonna have Clyde out there welding it together and stuff.
How many hours you work a week, Monty?
As minimal as I have to. Life has changed in the last 15 years. We got a team that I start at 6. If we need to call, I leave here by 3:30, 4 o'clock every day. This time of year, we're leaving at 2. We're working our 8 hours. But during the year, it's 9, 10 hours a day. But you got an excellent wife at home, an excellent family that understands. If you're going to get a phone call at 8, 9, 11 o'clock at night, like Aiden says, we deal with it.
But this doesn't sound like a normal 40-hour-week job.
With the team and the crew we have, it's a 40 to 50-hour week job.
Okay.
To be dead honest, as a plant manager, I am blessed to have a team that I have here. That I get away. I enjoy my family life. Back in the day, you didn't do that. There's times you don't want to be home. Everybody knows that. There's times you don't want to be home, or there's times you knew something was going to affect you the next day, and you couldn't sleep, so you're down here working on it.
Wow.
You know, it's just it's a livelihood.
Yeah,
And
that's the thing in agriculture, especially, is that it's not just a job; it's a livelihood.
What do you mean by that, though?
I grew up in ag. My dad was an agronomist for Purgo, which was back in the day before Nutrien. So I didn't know any different. You work from sun up to sundown. You know, you grew up. We grew alfalfa. So like Caden says earlier, I heard him talking about ag and FFA and all that. This FFA projects, I had 40 acres of alfalfa. I was an alfalfa guy. I knew how to do alfalfa and watermelons. That's what I did growing up as a kid. You left, you wanted to go into ag business, plant science is what I wanted to do. To me, it was really interesting, the biology part of it and everything. In that process, you change that and you realize, wait a minute, this is what I'd rather do. So right out of college, I went into doing this. I ran the plant, ran production since 96. It is a lifestyle. You have to realize, okay, if I would love to go fish in Alaska, I love to fish, as Ken says, I love to fish. But I just turned 51, and do you think I've been to Alaska yet? It's harvest. Prime time to go fishing in Alaska is August and September. You can't take time off. You can't put a crew by themselves. So you choose how you handle your life based off what you enjoy to do.
That's good.
You know,
That's really good.
Lifestyle.
I'm kind of the do-all guy. The real grower is my dad. My dad is, he is the onion guy. That's what his main focus is the onions and stuff. And he helps with everything else and stuff. But that is my dad's main focus is the onions, because what it all comes down to is our whole operation, we don't have good onions. Our whole operation's in trouble. Just because
Has that happened before?
We're diversified and everything, but the thing is that our main focus is onions. We will other parts of our operation will suffer to make sure that we produce the best onions that we can.
So your key, taught by a guy that was here back and worked with Clyde and Neil back when this was built back in 97. And his philosophy was it doesn't matter how well you harvest and how many tons you harvest, but what's your payable tonnage out those docks. And that's the way we operate. These guys are always asking, what's the quality? What's this field doing? What's that field doing? Because at the end of the day, you can grow 50 ton to the acre, but if you only ship 20 ton off your dock, you might as well shut the doors. You have to, out of that 50 ton, your goal is to make 90+% of it payable. If you can't get the tonnage to pay, why grow and put all that effort into it? You get one time to plant it. You get one season to grow it to get all the rewards, and you better make it pay.
Our family is very faith-based and everything. We're all members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and that is something where a lot of our direction and stuff that we take with the way we conduct business and stuff like that is the same things that are taught in the church as well. It's just good business practice.
Which is super successful. I mean, you see so many crazy successful business owners.
The biggest thing is being honest, being upfront, like just being a good
Hardworking.
individual, hardworking, stuff like that, making sure that you're being honest and upfront with people and that people are getting taken care of. Even if it means you might get the short end of stick, you make sure that your customers are taken care of or your growers are taken care of, stuff like that, where not only is that the church, but that's also the way that our family has always operated and stuff. And that's where something for me as the third generation here that I've really has been instilled in me is that you really make sure that everybody's taken care of and that you're honest, because if your word is only worth as much as you are, and if your word's not worth anything, then your product's not worth anything. And that's where something my grandpa's always taught me is no matter what, no matter if it's gonna bite you really hard, you make sure that you're upfront and honest with everybody.
Tell the truth.
Everything you can tell, we like blue, Bibi blue. So majority of
Bibi blue.
all of our pickups are blue. My dad's, mine, they're all blue. All of our trucks, our over-the-road trucks, our 10-wheelers, everything, they all got blue on them. So this is another spot that stored product goes. So the heisters will bring it out and come stack in here. This whole entire thing.
This is finished product.
Finished
just
product.
waiting to go out.
Yeah, so we have the 7 loading docks there.
Yeah.
But then we also have a mobile dock out here, so they can be loading out of here, going in and going on to reefers and stuff. So see that mobile, that silver dock?
Oh,
They'll
okay.
come out and load right into the back of reefers and stuff out here. So then when we're really going, it looks like a racetrack down here, all these heisters going around and everything. And so that's where safety is a top priority in our operation, because we got so many moving parts, so many things. You probably seen my arm. I was
going to ask what happened, if you don't mind sharing.
Yeah. So when I was 9, I was going out to go work on a pivot, go start one for my grandpa, and I was in a Yamaha Rhino side by side. And I went out and went through a wheel track. With wheel track, I drive over almost every day and everything.
A wheel track?
Like from the pivot,
Oh, okay.
where the tires go and stuff.
okay.
Yeah, so the trench there. And I drove across it 100 times and stuff and went across it, and there was some water over it because the water had pushed up and everything. I went through there and it rolled over and it had a plastic roof on it. The roll cage and the plastic roof came down, landed on my arm, and shattered and degloved my arm. My dad took me into the hospital and they life flighted me to Seattle, and I was up there. I've had 13 surgeries to rebuild my arm. Didn't move my fingers for 6 years. I got titanium rods and everything. Yeah, they took the muscle you use to rebuild your ACL and put it in my arm to move my fingers.
At
And
9
then-
years old?
Yeah, so I had surgeries from the time I was 9 until I was 13. And they said I'd never be able to move my fingers. They said if I was 16 when it happened, they would have just amputated my arm. Did that and everything. But like, that was the cool thing, was my dad and grandpa are very big on how the Lord has blessed us and everything. And I've really seen it myself. And I went and served a mission for our church, and I came home. When I left on my mission, I could pretty much just go like that with my fingers, with my left arm. I came home, I can carry buckets now. I could never carry buckets or anything. And in my opinion, it doesn't matter what religion you are or anything, what higher being you believe in. But I believe that when you put trust in them and you give yourself to them, that's when you're going to receive the blessings and stuff from it. And that's where only thing I've ever wanted to do was farm. And I didn't necessarily want to go to Miami, Florida for 2 years, but I said, hey, this is where the Lord wants me to go. Went down there, and the blessings that not only myself, but my family, my friends, everybody I've seen that they've experienced.
So you think you were blessed by more mobility in your hand by going on that trip?
I believe
the Lord
so.
blessed you.
Yep.
Wow.
And that's where this whole operation, my grandma, she was a very spiritual woman and stuff. She said that the only way that this farm has succeeded is because we were living right and doing what the Lord wanted us to do. And that's where being honest, being the best people you can be, and taking care of what you got is what gets you into this situation. And that's where it's not saying that everything's peaches and cream all the time or anything, but it's and for me too, I look at it of, we had to write a paper in college about what we were how we felt, because I went to a church school, a church college and everything, went to BYU, and they had us write a paper of how we felt closest to God. And I said, I feel closest to God when I'm out standing in a field looking at a crop or something, and my professor, 100%. Who was, I think, of different political ideology than I am, went, well, how do you see that? And I said, well, you tell me what other thing on earth you can go put something in the ground, and then 3 to 9 months later, you're sitting there and looking at a crop or whatever you're doing and stuff, or looking at calves and things like that. I said, that's a miracle. Mm-hmm. And that's something that my arm's a miracle. They never thought I'd be able to move my arm again or anything like that. And I've definitely been able to do a lot of great things, and it's taught me a lot as a person. And has made me really appreciate the small things in life, because I was on bed rest for 3 to 4 months. I couldn't, because it was like having ACL reconstruction too. So my leg was all bandaged up and braced up in my arm, and I was pretty useless. It's been
what a story. Wow.
It's been an interesting deal. It's but that's prompted me to do a lot of different things I've done in my life.
Probably made your faith even stronger though.
Made
too.
my face stronger, made me I got home at 3:30 this morning because I'm on the volunteer fire department up here, and the train started a fire down in town. We were out on fires till 3:30 this morning. But the main reason I'm on the fire department is because when I got in my wreck, one of the guys' workforce was an EMT on the fire department. That is probably the only reason I lived, because my whole entire arm was gashed open. Yeah, it was. But stuff like that, where if I can handle that, then I'm going to do it to be able to help others out.
Yeah.
Well, what if we go over here? I'll throw you guys in my pickup with me, and we can go buzz around.
There was actually a big farm operation in Kansas we went and videoed, and this guy's older, but he even said it best. I've said this probably 50 times now. He's like, dude, if you don't tell the truth about agriculture, the wrong person will.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If you don't tell the story, there's going to be somebody else that tells it in the wrong way. And it's like, I kind of feel like it's our obligation now as our industry to like tell the right story.
Yeah, and the thing is too, there's a lot of misconceptions in agriculture anymore. That's where we've been really trying to showcase that to people, that we're not, farmers are not trying to kill you. We're trying to help you live.
That's right.
But that's hard for people to understand.
This is all your corn.
Yeah, so we got everything here. So this is actually the first circle my grandpa put up here. This is C1. So all of our circles, because of the irrigation project and stuff, go the partner's first initial. So there's the 5 families, and then there's like the dad of each family. So like my grandpa is Clyde, and so all of our circles say C1, C2, C3, whatever they are. So then that way irrigation knows, okay, I'm talking about C1, not B1. Kind of cool. And I'll have to take you guys down. So we have a big archway down at the end with a gate and everything. It has flags that says Bibi Farms and everything on it.
Oh, nice.
The story behind it is there was 2 things that my grandma and grandpa, when they moved up here, said that they always wanted. One was an archway with a gate, and 2 was a white vinyl fence all the way up the driveway. Grandpa did not. That was right when grandma died. He built that, and he says, I'm doing this for your grandma. And so when we go down there, I can show you there's a memorial for my grandma on the gate. I'll take you guys this way, and we can go up in the office.
Oh, this is cool.
So this is this was kind of how all of our trucks used to be set up. We're still in the middle of setting everything up, but we're gonna have progression pictures of how the trucks have gone and the whole fleet and everything. But we used to raise sugar beets for amalgamated and stuff. So what we would do is we'd raise our sugar beets, we'd haul them down, and then we had a commodity company that we owned that we would sell beet pellets and stuff. So my grandpa's sister's husband was a salesman. He'd go around and sell all the beet pellets and everything. Our trucks would haul beets down, bring beet pellets back, and we'd store them back in our storage building back there. And then they'd spend all summer hauling them around. So we had 12 or 13 trucks, I think. That's all when I was little, that's all they did was just haul beets and beet pellets. We have all the traffic and weather dashboard, and then this one's shut off right now. But this is so we use Motive ELDs.
Yeah.
And so we have everything all set up, and that's what this one usually shows on here is where all the trucks are, because Grandpa will come up here. Where's the trucks at? What are they doing today? So we put these screens
Why
here.
is he wanting to know? Just to...
Because trucks are like his baby, and he
really.
My grandpa loves semis. He said trucking's like a bad addiction. Cool. No, we can walk down here really quick and talk to Grandpa for a minute. See, that man right there is the one that's made everything you see, and I could not be more grateful to have him and my dad as role models and as partners and doing all this, because they've really...
Did he go to college?
He went to college to chase my grandma. I don't think he graduated with anything.
How did you decide that you wanted to come back and do this versus... Because again, it's not like your dad told you had to come back to the farm, right?
From what I've been... No, my dad didn't tell me. It's all up to our choice and everything, but from what I've been told, it's the family joke that my first word was farm, because that's all I've ever wanted to do. There's a picture, it's actually my screensaver for when my dad calls me. I think I was a week or 2 old, and there's a picture of my dad holding me on the step. My mom took him out to go ride in the tractor with him. I was a week or 2 old, and I'm sitting there on the step. I couldn't even move my head or anything yet, but that's all I've ever wanted to do was farm. And my parents, like most kids, watched Blue's Clues or Scooby-Doo or stuff like that growing up. every time we bought a new tractor, the deal my dad made with the sales guy was that he had to bring, John Deere used to do the owner's manuals in a VHS tape. So my parents put a VHS TV, like one of those self-contained ones, in my room, and I had a whole entire Rubbermaid full of videos. And that's what I was 5 or 6, and my dad would call and he's like, hey, how do you make the tractor do this? Because I'd watched all the videos and everything. That's what I would watch. And then I always loved riding in trucks and everything. We've always had semis. I love heavy haul. I love hauling stuff with the RGNs and everything. And so I'd go ride with our guys when they go haul stuff, and I like lights and stuff. And then,
what was it, just a decision that you came back and told your dad, like, hey, I want to come back and do this? Or?
So that actually turned into, so technically I have 3 classes left that I need to take to finish my degree at college. And
what were you studying?
Ag science and technology, and then as my major, and then my minor was business management.
Yeah.
But I got 3 classes that I can still finish them online, but I just seen that my dad turned 50 this year. My grandpa's gonna be 86 this year. And I've always wanted to come back to the farm and everything. I was in my tail end of my 3rd year down at school, almost done. I just felt, I was praying about it a long time and everything. I didn't tell anybody about it. I was praying about it, and I felt like I needed to come back to the farm, and I need to stay here and not go back to school. And so I came back, and it almost came to a fist fight with my dad of him saying, no, you need to go back to school because you're not married yet, and you're not going to find anybody because all you ever do is work out here, so you're not going to find a girl. I said, the Lord will bless me when the right one comes along. But I said, I'm staying here on the farm, and I really found that it has grown my relationship so much between my dad and my grandpa, being able to work with them here on the farm and everything. And my thing is, I'm a hands-on learner. I can't learn from a book, and that's where everything down there was by the book and everything. My dad's like, well, I'm like, Dad, what happened if you got in a car wreck tomorrow and died? I said, I'm not going to know how to do everything because I haven't been side by side with you. I got done with high school. I went on a 2-year mission for the church, and I went straight to college after. I haven't been on the farm outside of being there during the summer and everything. I haven't been in for a whole growing season. And so then we got that all ironed out and everything. And I've been back for, I think this will be my third solid year being back. Couldn't want to be anywhere else.
So what percentage is irrigated versus non-irrigated when you got like wheat, corn?
Any crop we raise any crop we harvest is irrigated. We don't do any dryland farming. So, but like with
I know you look at the aerial photo, we're looking at it, and like it's just, you can see all these circles.
So pretty much Sellards Road up there, everything south of Sellards is they're pretty much all irrigated and stuff. Anything north.
Where's the river from here?
The river is about 13 miles from here. So, right.
So that water's being pumped all the way from that river to here.
Yeah, to the top of our main line, to the end at Booster 4 and stuff. I think we're right about 13 or 14 miles of pumping that we pump. So that's why we have the booster stations and everything like that. But it's something where...
So the booster stations, just so people understand, like that, like we drove past one yesterday. Usually you see it, I mean, it's a big reserve, right?
Well, no, so ours is just pumps. So we have our main line running, and there's just pumps on there that's pretty much just accelerating the water to push it uphill. And then we have ponds and stuff too. So we have ponds all over our farm. We have ponds, and then the main farm has ponds and stuff that we use for holding over and stuff. And then that way too, we can be running off the main line, but then also water that we have stockpiled in the ponds. When we're not using water on circles, we can put it in the pond, and then we take it and pull that out, and then we can add more water, because with everybody raising onions and grass and stuff like that, there's times a year where we're really strapped on water.
Because if I name everything that's being grown out here, it's onions.
Yep.
Wheat, corn.
On our farm, onions, grass seed, wheat, field corn, sweet corn, fresh peas, and alfalfa, and then potatoes. We have potatoes this year too, so it's kind of, we got a little bit of everything that we do. But
and this is a big question, but like, couldn't you just be doing one and not all of them, or why are you doing variety? Is it the head?
We do the different rotation, because that's so then we can cycle through our ground and everything. Because like I said before, the main thing is taking care of the land and making sure that it's successful, and here for my kids and my grandkids to be able to take care of stuff. And so that's where we do a rotation, so then it's different crops use different nutrients in the soil, different stuff like that, where some benefit like add things back to the soil that the previous crop took out, or some are going to use this up and everything, and you still have to put on your additive fertilizers and stuff like that. We do it, and it helps with disease and stuff like that, because like there's certain crops that, say you did corn for 6 years in a row. In our climate with our soil and everything, you'd be exposed to different soil diseases, stuff like that. We do a lot of stuff in our rotation and in our operation to use biologicals and use natural fertilizer, stuff like that. We use a lot of different stuff like that. So.
Questions, then I gotta go.
The big question I had, Clyde, is what year did you come out here?
1976.
And this was just,
It was dryland farm. It was a whole dryland farm when we come here.
how did you find this place?
The Lorne man, he's the kind of the one that found it. No, Robert found it. Robert found it, and Lorne, father and son. They found it up here. They come and they're looking for ground over closer to Pasco, but then they found this dryland farm. Then they went through all the procedures to get it tied up, and then getting the water up here was another problem. So then they got an engineer, and it just went from there. You know, we took the dryland weed off it. We bought it when the farm had weed on it, and we took it off, and we developed it through the winter. It was an open winter, so we had water here in February. So it was one of the fastest developing farms up here. So.
Did you learn about that from somewhere else, or just how did you figure that out that you could do that up here to buy this dry land and get it irrigated?
Well, I think they went through a lot of permitting and stuff, because we had to get permits from every one of the neighbors that coming up here.
Right.
And then we had to get it approved to pump out of the Columbia. And I know Lorne and Sam Hartley went back to...
They went to Washington,
They went
didn't
to Washington. And I think through one of the senators here got them in, and it was... everything just fell into place. It's almost impossible to buy a farm and put it in 1 year. And they did that.
When are you going to retire?
When I die.
You never stop moving.
No, I have to keep moving. No, they can bury me out here.
Have you enjoyed it?
Oh yeah, it's a challenge. You know,
How do you keep from, because there's a lot of moving parts, a lot of stress. I mean, any business, but especially farming, because there's a lot of this stuff that's out of your control. How do you have peace with all of that?
Well, I don't get as stressed out as his dad. I probably did when I was younger. He probably followed in my steps. I'm just mellower now. I don't get excited too much, and it's really a good farm, and Neil does a really good job, and Caden's learning, and
we just add to his stress by buying more semis.
Yeah.
He said you like the semis, though. They're kind of your baby.
Well, they're just, you like them and you don't like them. I don't know how to explain them. But,
Well, the Lord has definitely blessed you all. Amazingly well.
This whole farm has just really been blessed. It has. And, for 6 people to get along,
Yeah.
But we work as a group. We don't always agree, but the majority carries. And then you get voted 3-2. That's the way it goes. It's a good farm.
I grew up on a farm, but then have been in this industry, especially in the trucking side, for 20 years. But I've learned that it's a very there's a lot of solitude, and there's a lot of stress and anxiety, but even depression in this industry. So I'm always learning how the people that have weathered those times. How have they coped with that? And obviously, I think for you all, really being close to the Lord and allowing the Lord to guide you.
This farm wouldn't have survived without that.
Yeah. But even when it comes to getting along with people and relationships, because we're humans, where there's humans, there's problems, But having the Lord front and center, that's had to help push through those times,
Right. We've had to make some tough decisions, as a group. We have prayer every meeting we have. We started with prayer. And
last question, I'll let you get on the road. What do you enjoy the most now with what you're doing? What do you get up and actually enjoy during the day?
I driving this.
I was telling him
nice
how many
ride,
miles
too.
you got on it.
That's a super nice ride.
The challenge every morning, you know.
Just having a challenge to go face and accomplish.
Yeah, and feel good about what you accomplished, you know.
Yeah, something I always think about. I'm 45, so I still got a long roadway, but like, man, it seems like regardless, wherever you're at in life, God still has a plan and still has a purpose for you.
Yeah, well, my wife was a big part of it, and when she passed away, I just don't like going in the house at night, you know, and so this is my relaxing point, or my getting rid of the stress, you know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
no, I'll probably die here on the farm, you know. That's my plan anyway.
Well, I heard not too long ago you went in and thought you had some heartburn and had to have a couple stents put in.
Jason was telling him. Jason was told about when you got your knee replaced.
Well, yeah. I had my knee replaced, and I was just getting ready to come home, and they wheeled me in. They come in there, and they didn't say nothing. I got a little sick to my stomach that morning before they come in and get me, and they come and wheeled me in, put me in an ambulance, took me to a different hospital, and put 3 stents in me, and didn't even tell me why I was there. Because I didn't have any pain or anything.
Well, thank you for letting us come out and tour, and
yes.
Lord bless you.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Well, thanks for coming out.
Yeah, appreciate it.
It's really cool what and my dad have built around here and everything, and that's where you asked me what made me want to come back and farm. It's that guy right there, and it's my dad, and that's I couldn't ask for better role models and a better place to live. Everybody has their spots. They're like, oh, I like farming Idaho, I like farming in Iowa, I like farming in Montana and stuff. I think that honestly what it comes down to the most is where's home for you, where your family is, like your group that you're with and stuff. That's what makes you successful. And I think especially in ag anymore, the only way that you're really gonna be successful and prosper and stuff is by, you don't have to do everything, but to work with your neighbors and have good neighbors around you that when something happens, they're there to help you, you're there to help them, stuff like that. Because like you're talking about depression and stuff like that and everything in agriculture and trucking and everything, you gotta have people you can talk to, you gotta have people you can work with, and ones that understand. Because you go talk to somebody that has a 9-to-5 office job, they ain't gonna understand when you're talking about, well, if this hailstorm comes through, I'm gonna lose my whole life. Where other people are, oh, if hailstorm comes through, I gotta go get my car fixed at the body shop. It's a whole different ball game. It's all about the tools that you have in your toolbox, and that's like, we're building a new shop for our trucks because we built this shop.
That's what this is right here?
Yeah, so that's gonna be our new truck shop. So this is our truck shop we have right now. My grandpa built that in 1980. And that was back when you had 40-foot trailers and everything.
This is servicing all these trucks?
Yep. We have a pit in there, and we have 2 guys, and then our head mechanic just runs around in a service truck, but that'll be our new head mechanic. That's our head mechanic, gonna be his shop. But we built it 100 feet long, so that way we can pull a truck and trailer in December and be able to shut the doors, because we're running year round on the over the road side. And I do not like working on trucks in the snow. It's not enjoyable. That's one thing that's different about our operation too, is that we do, like I said, we do as much as we can. So like, we have our own bulk diesel here on the farm and everything.
I saw the tanks.
Yeah, so that's, we fill all of our trucks and everything here as often as possible. That way, when you're buying in bulk, you're getting it cheaper than filling a truck stop or stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so all the guys are just running through, doing the last checks on the 10-wheelers. We had Les Schwab out here yesterday going, checking all the tires. They made us a list of all the ones that need done. But like this, prime example, 18-speed transmission, one of my over-the-road trucks, what was it, Friday? Said, hey, it's making noise. And he came in, and you could sit here and move the output shaft up and down. Called and said, we need training, went and picked one up in Hermiston. My guys had it changed in 8 hours, which for a farm shop, that's pretty good to be able to slam it.
What would that have cost if you would have took it into a dealer?
In our area right now, you're anywhere between 160 to 210 bucks an hour for labor.
Would they have been done in the same amount of hours, you think?
No, it would have been
double.
I'll have the truck in a week or so. I had it back the next day. So that's why we really value our employees and value the team.
This is the whole transmission?
Whole transmission. There's 2 of them. So that's the other one that we put them here because we put them all here, and then when the parts houses come out, they'll, if it came from them and stuff, they just pick up the core and take it back. We have We have about 5 parts houses that come through here and
So you
take
say
care of us.
where you guys are ordering parts and stuff?
Yeah,
So they'll take these back,
yeah, they're
refurbish them?
Yeah, so we work with a wrecking yard over in Hermiston. They'll take these back. That one actually came from them. That's a rebuilt one from them. They'll take them back, and like this one, we're just seeing output shaft bearings and everything. They'll take it back and go rebuild it and everything, then sell it to somebody else.
Can you explain this? This is like, you got your grandpa, your dad, you, like, how do you divide roles? I mean, because again, there's overlap, but like what's really your role here versus your dad?
So my dad and grandpa kind of oversee everything. They're the shot callers on all it. I'm kind of the one of
Shot callers?
they call the shots. They say, hey, this is what needs to be done, everything like that. And then I'm transitioning. I'm slowly taking over stuff and everything. Like I'm helping run all of our wheat this year, of doing from growing to harvest, everything like that and stuff.
And that was originally, I mean, before that was your dad,
Before all this was from pretty much from the time my dad came back from college until I came back from college, my dad and grandpa have been the only ones doing the growing and stuff. We've never had farm managers. Really, the only managers we have are Jason and Monty. We're different than some operations we're in the day-to-day. That's why Monty and everybody was giving me crap for how cleaned up I was, because yes, I usually wear a uniform shirt that's a high-vis one and everything, and I covered in grease and oil. My grandpa's always covered in stuff. My dad always is and everything. It's like, we're not ones that we go sit in an office or drive around in our pickups and stuff. We drive around in our pickups, and you see what my pickup looks like if it's not clean. We're out in the field, we're doing everything and stuff, and that's what we enjoy. We're not here to sit there and look at a spreadsheet or sit on an op center and look at all my tractors and say, oh, you're not doing a good enough job. It's no, I go drive out to the field and go look at it and everything. And so that's where I've always kind of been geared more towards the fixing side of stuff. So that's why I help with the mechanics and then fabrication and stuff like that and everything, because that's what I've always really enjoyed. But that's the thing though, is we figure out how to make it all work. All of us have our strengths, all of us have our weaknesses. Clyde and I are kind of the ones that are the fixers. We go out and go figure out how are we going to put the tongue back on this packer that just got ripped off because somebody hit a pivot or something.
But every day you're pretty much talking to your dad and grandpa and stuff.
Dad and grandpa, we talk every day, multiple. It would be weird for me not to talk to them. That's my dad calling me there, and I have ringtones set for the different people that call me, that if it's an important one that I need to answer, then it goes for me and it has a certain ringtone.
Caden, I just want to thank you for letting us come out here and see this operation. Man, we got a full scope. I mean, everything from the onion side of the business all the way to the trucking to the farming. I actually got to see you work on a combine, move some equipment around. But no, I just like said, we, it's like we love sharing these videos for more than one reason. I mean, again, just to show the industry all sides of farming and trucking, from really how the song goes from sea to shining sea. But yeah, to really see how different it is up here in Washington. But yeah, just want to thank you for that. And man, just excited for you and seeing the third generation work.
No, I appreciate you guys coming out. Like I said before, BulkLoads has really changed how we're running our operation and everything. And we appreciate having a company like you guys that are willing to come out and come see what we're doing and stuff, because it's like there's plenty of other operations that they're not just trucking operations and stuff. We're all vertically integrated and stuff, and that's what it's really cool to be able to share this with other people and allow them to kind of see what we're putting a face to the name and everything, and to see that we're just regular guys and stuff trying to make it all work, and to bring more awareness to the industry, because that's definitely something that we really appreciate you guys doing. Love all your guys' videos and stuff, and we really appreciate you guys coming out here. I know it was a long trek for you guys.
Yeah.
So,
well, man, appreciate you sharing.
Hey, no,
God bless
thank you.
Appreciate
Take care.
Yeah, thank you.
My dad will hound me. He says, if you have more than 2 trucks broke down, you guys didn't do anything during the winter. Oh, I lost a tire.
Can you give some perspective on how many onions will go through this facility in a year?
It depends on our yields, but anywhere from 4 to 4.5 million 50-pound bags will go through here in a year's time.